Good afternoon from AlphaCars. My name is Tom, coming to you from our Northampton location, and today I'm very pleased to be sharing with you a recent arrival here at the dealership. This is a very unique and beautifully maintained example of a 2009 Ural Sahara Limited. I'll be taking you on a quick condition overview around both the motorcycle and the sidecar, as well as showing you some of the more interesting features that make these Urals so unique and so enjoyable to ride. So we'll start by taking a look at just a quick condition overview, looking at the paint scheme. Of course, you will notice that Sahara color. It's kind of a desert sand look, and you may be accustomed to seeing this on some of the more modern Urals, but where you'll find this bike is differentiated from those is you'll find all of the frame structures around there, like the support for the step, your wheels, your suspension, the frame itself here on the motorcycle. All of these components are also finished in the Sahara, whereas on a lot of the modern Sahara bikes, those would be finished in the satin black that you see on various other accents, like the front crash guard you saw on the sidecar. You'll notice the engine is fitted with the powder-coated silver option, as opposed to the black that you may see on some other models as well, and it presents very nicely. You can see the paint on the front cover looks very nice. Just a little bit of wear around the seals on the cylinder heads, but largely this engine is in very nice condition and it runs absolutely beautifully, which we'll cover in just a couple of minutes. Looking at the tank condition, very, very nice. No dings, dents, or major scratching on the tank, just little bits of minor wear and a small paint chip just there in the latch that you see for that small cubby. Looking at all of the little welds and junctions here, you won't find any major corrosion. It all presents very well. Even looking a bit more to the inner workings of the bike just there. Suspension components all present very nicely, and that can be said as well for this whole assembly with your suspension and your Brembo brakes. Front crash guard is free of any major wear also. You can see the nose of the sidecar looks very nice, and you do have that Gear Up logo there fitted to the side. You will find some minor scratching on the outer portion of that step that I mentioned a moment ago, as well as a small ding there on the front of the fender. Carrying over the fender, noticing a couple of tiny scratches. And here at the rear of the motorcycle, you will find a small ding in the back of the trunk. But a nice thing to see is no corrosion around this bracket here, where the trunk hinges off of. That's a common place I've seen some corrosion on Urals of this vintage. And this bike does present very nicely, but let's get into a few more of the details on this particular bike. Now, of course, as with most gear ups, you'll find the 749cc opposed twin-cylinder engine, otherwise known as a boxer layout. Power is delivered through a 4-speed manual gearbox with selectable reverse gear using that chrome lever just there. Power is delivered through a drive shaft into the final drive you'll find here at the rear. And from there, using that Sahara painted lever, you'll be able to either send power exclusively to the rear of the motorcycle or through a drive shaft to the sidecar, as well as is noted by the 2-wheel drive badging. Now, of course, that is really only reserved for getting yourself, pardon me, out of some more of the difficult off-road situations. And another interesting feature to go with that same theme is the deployable shovel just there, strapped to the sidecar. I'll also mention about the powertrain on this particular Ural. Unlike the newer models, this is a carbureted motorcycle. And I will say, when these carbureted motorcycles are tuned and dialed in very well, as this one is, nothing runs better. I think these carbureted engines are absolutely the way to go. I love this powertrain, and you'll see in a few minutes when I give it a cold start here just how amazing this bike runs to this day. A couple of the accessories fitted to this particular bike. You do have the Jivvy windshield here on the nose of the motorcycle, as well as a spotlight which functions perfectly here at the nose of the sidecar. Fitted to the sidecar for a bit of comfort for your passenger, you do have a windshield with only minor wear as it mounts to the bracket, which is something we've seen on some more of these bikes from this era. You do have the vinyl apron here just ahead of your windshield, and as opposed to the traditional metal twist brackets that you're used to seeing on the newer bikes for securing this apron, you actually have these nice leather pass-through straps, which I think kind of add to that vintage look of the motorcycle, and they function exactly as well as you would expect the metal clamps to do. Just looks pretty interesting in my opinion. The seating inside of the sidecar is in just fantastic shape, as well as the paint. You do have a rubber mat to protect your flooring, and it is undercoated on the inside as well. There you do have a small panel which controls various features. including, give me a moment, the spotlight, which can be operated with the motorcycle off. And as you can see, functions perfectly fine utilizing that switch. You do have the rack here on the back above your spare tire, which is painted to match in that Sahara color. The Sahara limited edition motorcycle for the 2009 model year was limited to only about 50 models in the United States market, so finding one of these is quite unique. And I feel it is right for me to show you this engine running just because it's such a beautiful example. I can show you can see the headers right there, the hottest part externally of the engine. You can see I can touch that exhaust, holding my hand right on there. I actually pushed this bike outside just to give it even more of a cold start. So you can see I've turned the key there, and now I'll just reach over here and one touch, watch this. Fires right up. Of course, I do have the chokes engaged on both the left and the right carburetor, but listen to this bike idle right now. It's running absolutely beautifully. I will refrain from revving the motorcycle at all because these bikes really do prefer to be run at the proper operating temperature once you start getting higher in the RPM range. But as you can see, just the way it's idling so calmly and smoothly, very, very encouraging to find that on a motorcycle of this vintage. Now here in your controls, all of the controls present very nicely. You do have your mirrors as well, a slightly different style than you may be used to seeing on the newer motorcycles, as well as a gauge cluster there with an odometer reading in kilometers. This Ural logo here is actually an adjustable steering dampener, can be rotated to the left or the right to adjust the steering feel to your preference or your riding condition. And one thing I forgot to mention, fitted here to the back is this nice gas can with a pretty intricate latching mechanism that I find pretty interesting. And that, of course, just like the shovel and the two-wheel drive, is really designed to get you out of any difficult situations. Now, a couple of last touches I'd like to point out here. I'm going to open up the trunk. Pardon me, it is a bit of a two-handed procedure. One hand to open that latch and one to roll the trunk back. Now here fitted to the trunk, I do have a rack for maybe a tire pump if you so choose, or anything that would fit to that bracket. You do have a fully kitted out toolkit, an owner's manual, a bit of storage on the back of the seat, and a full sidecar cover to protect this area when it is not in use. So really quickly, I'm going to cut the video and I'm going to install that cover so you can get a full look at the motorcycle with the sidecar covered up. I will be right back with that. So as you can see, I've installed the sidecar cover, which is in just amazing condition. As you can see, absolutely no tears. This is just a small wrinkle just here. Absolutely no tears to note. Color is all very even. The stitching looks great as well all the way throughout. I'll show you all of the fasteners here to the different points on the sidecar. It actually lays underneath these clamps here and has its own individual clamps, so it is properly secure. And all of these straps are perfectly intact. This bike has clearly been very well cared for. And one last thing I did forget to mention before is the seating arrangement. This bike is fitted with the double up tractor seating, which is one of the more popular seating arrangements that I find I see here at the dealership quite often. People do like the stadium style seating where the rear seat is slightly elevated. You do have lots of points to hold on to as well. This is a very sturdy handle for your rear passenger, as well as these handles on the side if you so choose. And you might be a bit more comfortable having that helmet just a little bit more elevated as opposed to the motorcycle operator's helmet. That's about it here for the Ural Gear Up. Of course, if you'd like to see a high-resolution detailed photo set, feel free to view the listing via AlphaCars.com, and there you'll find all of the relevant contact information. Thank you so much for your time, and have a wonderful rest of your day, and we hope to hear from you soon. Thank you so much from AlphaCars.